That Sunday, after Kofi sprinkled the sand on the church premises during the early hours, he went back to bed. Around 8 a.m., his father, Kwame, came to his room yelling his name. "Kofi! Kofi!" "Yes, Dad. Is everything all right?" Kofi got out of bed immediately when he heard his father calling. "Kofi, it has happened!" "What has happened?" "Come outside and see for yourself," Kwame said, pulling Kofi's hand to the church beside their house. From Kwame's smile and excitement, Kofi suspected that some members had come to church, but he had no idea how many. As he approached the church entrance, Kofi heard voices coming from inside the church. When he entered, he was shocked by the number of people inside. There were more than 100 people inside their small church. In fact, their number exceeded the capacity of the small church, so some people had to return home and bring benches and stools from their homes so they could sit outside. "How did this happen?" "I don't know how. All I can say is that God has answered our prayers. Hey, in more than my 20 years of running this church, I have never had this number of people come here. This is great. Did they all come in at once? Also, did you tell them that service starts by 9 a.m. and we still have like an hour to go?" "Honestly, Kofi, I wish I could answer that. I was in the inner room preparing the communion for today's service, and I suddenly heard voices. When I came out to check, more than half of the church had been filled. As for coming too early, I talked to some of them, and they said they did not mind. I don't even know what to say. Say thank God. Since we have a full house today, I will need you to take care of the prayer sessions, and I will preach." "All right, Dad. I will do that. Let me go inside and prepare." Even though Kofi knew that the sand was responsible for all those people, he was still in shock because he didn't think the sand could attract so many people. Immediately Kofi entered his room, he took the sand out of his wardrobe and stared at it. "Hey, I really underestimated you," he soliloquized, then he put it back in his wardrobe. Just like he had said, he had a little breakfast, showered and dressed up for service, and then he went to church. That Sunday, Kofi enjoyed service because the church was full and lively. He also did his best to please his father, so his father could sing his praises in front of the congregation. Seeing that the sand had worked, Kofi began using it every Sunday and midweek service, and every time it would pull a crowd to the church. Unfortunately, while Kofi kept doing this, he noticed that something was wrong. For no reason, his father Kwame suddenly fell ill. At first, it started with a mild cough and headache, but as time passed, Kwame started coughing out blood, and his health slowly deteriorated. Aside from his father's illness, Kofi noticed another problem in the church, which had to do with money. At first, when the church members began flooding the church, Kofi thought they would willingly give him money or donate to the church, but he was wrong. He slowly became frustrated since he constantly had to spend money to accommodate the large crowd and would get nothing back. Sometimes he would rent chairs, a sound system, and other basic things with the expectation that the members would be generous with their tithe and offering. But when this didn't happen, he began to find ways to make them donate money. Sadly, no matter how he pleaded with them or promised them that they would receive God's blessings, they still refused to be generous. With his father's deteriorating health and the financial burden around his neck, Kofi was forced to visit Desmond again. After realizing that the sand alone could not make his church wealthy and successful, he had no choice but to return to the person he swore he wouldn't see again. "Ah, Kofi, so it's really you. When my PA told me that you had been waiting for me, I didn't believe it. So tell me, to what do I owe this pleasant surprise? I thought you wanted nothing to do with me again. Desmond, I know I disappointed you last time, and I'm sorry about that. I was just being childish." "Don't worry, my brother. I'm no longer angry. I forgave you a long time ago. Chale, I used the sand and it worked as you had said. Hey, every Sunday and midweek service, my church is always full. But my members are very stingy. I have tried everything I know to convince them to be generous with their offering or even give money, but it's not working. But didn't you know that people are like stubborn goats? No matter how you hit them, they will still do what they want. Please, my brother, I need help. If there's a time I badly need them to start giving me money, it's now. My father is very sick and I'm literally the breadwinner of the family. Your father is very sick? Desmond asked in a suspicious tone. Yes, he just suddenly fell ill and it's getting worse daily. So he is the one the Great One chose as payment. Chose as payment? I don't understand you. My brother, brace up. You are going to lose your father soon. If I were you, I'd make these last days with him memorable. Desmond, wait, please. Do you mean that my father is suffering because of me? My brother, this is the price you pay for greatness. For me, it was my first wife, Sandra. She was pregnant with our son when she died. Why didn't you tell me I would be sacrificing my father? Why? That man has suffered and waited for God for so many years. It didn't have to end like this. Kofi, crying will not undo what you have already done. I have told you what to do. At least you should be happy someone has told you what's happening. During my time, I didn't know until the Great One himself told me. By then, it was too late. What had been done had been done. So what do I do now? How do I go back to the same house, knowing that I am responsible for his ailment? All I wanted to do was help the church. And helping the church comes at a cost. Now, you've said your members are not complying. You will have to introduce a problem and give them the solution. That is how you will take their money. I don't understand. What do you mean by I will introduce a problem and offer them the solution? My brother, there are so many ways you can do this, but whichever way you choose will be good. Once you do this, you will never be broke again. What do I do? You will have to afflict them and then cure their affliction. Afflict them and cure their affliction? I don't think I can do something like that. See, this is the problem I have with you. You are too soft. Do you want to be rich or do you want to die in poverty? The sooner you pick a side, the better for you. When Kofi heard that, he remained quiet for a minute and then he spoke. How do I do it? Now you are talking. When we are ready, we will go back to the Great One and he will give you something. From there, we will know what to do. Can I go home and think about this? Of course you can. But do not take too long before I change my mind. Will the Great One collect something in return for helping me again? Even in Freetown, nothing is free. If you want something that will change your life forever, then you must pay a great price for it. Thank you. Whatever I decide, I will let you know, Kofi said before leaving. When Kofi returned home that day and he saw his father's deteriorating health, he was very heartbroken. The whole time, he had been thinking that his father was just sick and would get better with time, not knowing that his father's life was the price for the decision he had made. No, I will not make things worse. I have done enough harm already, Kofi soliloquized while he lay in his room. I never really wanted this. I wouldn't have gone there if I had known this would happen. Who knows what the Great One will take this time if I go again? After seeing his father that day, Kofi decided to stop. At that point, he didn't care about the money or the church members anymore. He had even made up his mind that if the church members stopped coming, he would close the church and move on with his life. 2 days after Kofi decided that he wouldn't make another deal with the devil, calamity struck. Around 2 a.m. in the morning, Kofi was sleeping when he heard his mother screaming in her room. Immediately he heard her scream. His heart sank and he ran to see what had happened. Before Kofi could even ask why she was screaming, he saw his father's lifeless body on the bed, and instantly he fell to his knees.
Why did you leave me? You promised that we would grow old together and raise your grandchildren. Oh, Kwame! Kofi! Come and talk to your father. Maybe he will speak to you. Hey, Kofi, come.
Mom, he's dead.
No, he's just sleeping. See, please, Kwame, don't do this to me. Kwame, don't do this to me.
Kofi's mother said while shaking her late husband's body. Throughout that morning, Kofi sat next to his mother, comforting her. When it was done, he went ahead and called his uncles and aunts to inform them of his father's demise. Precisely 2 weeks after Kwame passed away, Kofi and his mother, together with their extended family, laid him to rest. Sadly, after the funeral, Kofi's mother never remained the same. She began losing weight, didn't eat or talk often, and always spent most of her time in her room mourning her husband. While Kofi's mother was still grieving, Kofi could not stop blaming himself. Even though no one knew that he was responsible for his father's demise, he couldn't stop punishing himself. A few days after the burial, Kofi was in his room when he heard the sound of a car driving into the compound. When he peeked through the window, he was shocked to see Desmond.
Desmond, what are you doing here?
My brother, I heard about your father's demise, so I came to sympathize with you. He was a good man, and I know he has gone to be with the Lord.
Please leave. I'm not in the mood to talk.
I know. That's why I came to you myself. You know how they say, if Muhammad doesn't go to the mountain will go to Muhammad.
What do you want?
I'm here because I care about you. Now that your father is dead, there is nothing holding you back. You can become one of the biggest pastors in this city. You just need to play your games right.
At what cost? My mother's life?
Maybe not. The Great One is not as wicked as you make him sound. See, my brother, you are no longer a boy. You are now a man, and you have to act like one. It is now your responsibility to take care of your mother. I know you are blaming yourself for your father's death, but if you don't carry out this next step, doesn't that mean your father died in vain? You did what you did because you wanted to become wealthy, but you never achieved that, yet you lost your father.
Please leave! I will not say it again!
I will leave, but think about what I just said. Everything you want is in your hands, but you must take action, Desmond said before leaving. After Desmond left, Kofi couldn't stop thinking about everything. When he remembered the part where Desmond said his father had died in vain, Kofi decided to return to the Great One. Unknown to Kofi, he was playing into the hands of the devil, and his next decision would alter his life forever. Watch out for part 4. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your favorite part in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, do not forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.